Tai no Henko, the most basic and important standing exercise in Aikido. We know that founder used to practice it as the first exercise when teaching, especially in the post-war period. He has taught his young disciples that Tai no Henko develops strong hips, develops strong stance, whether you pushed or pulled. Originally, the manual have short instruction and 2 pictures accompanying it. It reads as follows: concentrate your ki in the fingertips. Turn the palm upwards, make a half turn, be aware of attacks from behind. Make sure that your posture is stable and your feet is in correct stance or rope position. Now there is this idea that pre-war Tai no Henko was rather different and unusual. Saito Sensei sometimes would demonstrate it. First of all, those 2 pictures are not the same thing. It's from 2 different techniques. This one is a wonderful, forgotten exercise closely related to Tai no Henko. Maybe I will film it later on, or will reserve it for a complete program, whenever I'm making it. My uke this time is my friend Andrus, who agreed in helping me with the demonstrations. This is Tai no Henko that I was taught, or Iwama way of doing it. Twist your hips, turn around the contact point, stabilize posture afterwards. So this is more or less a standard way of doing it in all styles of Aikido. We have no other pictures of the founder demonstrating basic Tai no Henko. There is this one rather famous picture of him doing it, but under close inspection it's clear that this is Kinonagare version or flowing version of Tai no Henko. We see the hands are in somewhat lower position, and most importantly, uke's grip on the wrist is loose. This is most likely Kinonagare version. Now, what if I told you that people misunderstand this exercise, despite rank, years of practice, or lineage? I know how it sounds, but give me a chance to explain myself. There is a saying, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, so I'll try to give you enough of it. The devil is in the details. Indeed, founder once told to his disciple that every detail should be correct, otherwise it's not a technique. First of all, I always thought there's something not quite right with Tai no Henko. We've been told to hold their arm even though the grip felt slipping away. More so, I was told to protect my face with the other hand, as if there was some threat from Nage. Look, from this position you cannot reach him, nor he can reach you. Also, why people keep holding throughout the exercise? We've been taught that it's because Nage has a knife in his hand, so we keep holding to prevent him from using it. I've heard this kind of nonsense in Yoshinkan and in Wamaryu camps. But this is an absurd statement. Martial art working only if we carry around hidden knife or sword, especially for us Aikidokas, martial artists of peace. Carrying weapons in public had been prohibited even before founder's birth. Let's get back to the pictures. So, as I have mentioned before, this picture doesn't belong in the sequence, but actually there is one that complements the sequence perfectly. This one. That's an unusual position, isn't it? Luckily, originally, techniques of Budo had been very well photographed. Even such small transitional moves was photographed too. So how do one get into this position? This is how. You do it by leveraging Tagatana spirally. Now, let's look at the complete movement. This is an authentic way of using Tagatana and Tai no Henko. Why is it superior, an original way of doing it? This is what keeps the grip intact. This is what locks the grip, locks the structure, and brings the uke's elbow in. This way of blending in basic Tai no Henko is not correct. It's not authentic. This is not what founder actually taught. This is a contact breaker, a contact breaker. Contact point is precious. It's all you have. If you lose the contact point, you lose the control. Founder taught that technique is not over after you've been grabbed, but the moment you've been grabbed. This is how important the first contact point is. Look, in Morote Kokyu, you turn spiral. In Ushiro Ryote, you land spiral. In Kokyu Dosa, you turn spiral. And in Taino Henko, you turn spiral. It's all the same in basic techniques. If your opponent has a strong grip or knows how to use breath power, you will yonkyo yourself. You will yonkyo yourself. This way of doing is simply incorrect. I'm not telling that it's impossible for uke to let go of the grip doing this way, but it's definitely harder. Ultimately, it all depends on the strength of your breath power. I have found that only Kanju Tsunadamori, the first biographer and student of the founder, performed Taino Henko in spiral manner, though he moves in strange positions afterwards. People who teach Taino Henko this way, unfortunately, doesn't understand how spiral leverage works, how Tagatana is used in Aiki martial arts. There is no way that I could recreate those techniques accurately from a picture to myself, but because I've been studying it as a set of 50 techniques, gradually I was able to understand them. Aikido techniques had been devised very rationally and following the same core principles. It's not just a collection of warriors' techniques from different martial arts. This is why it was possible for me to recreate them, sometimes even from a single picture. Founder used to say that everything is one, everything is the same. And then there is internal part to it. Now, there are two components to any technique. That's correct external form and correct internal flow. In other words, correct form is not enough. I'm talking about kokuryoku or breath power now. The single most precious and important thing that I have discovered while working hard on the techniques of Budo is what I call the basic use of breath power. This increases strength, this increases stability. That's a method of generating power in a relaxed body. This is not unique in Aikido, but there are levels to it. I only discovered basic use of kokyu. It is essential skill in Aikido. It has transformed my Aikido to a new level. For instance, people think that it's enough to open your hand to turn it into a tegatana or hand sword. This is not tegatana, it's just an arm with open fingers, vulnerable for finger grabs. Only after you learn how to remove the muscular tension and let your life force, your ki, flow through your hands, then it becomes tegatana, the hand sword. Aikido means the way of uniting with ki. Breath power is not about inhalation, exhalation with your lungs while twisting your hips and timing your power. It's about cultivating your life force, your ki. It comes from your lower abdomen, from your hara. It is real, it is learnable. True Budo is about that. Aikido is 100% internal martial art. Practicing it as external Budo won't do much good. Now, this is Taino Henko that founder been teaching after the war. Have you noticed the difference? I placed my other arm in front of me as well. So I want to make it clear. The movement itself is exactly the same. The only difference is that instead of keeping my tagatana by my side, I extend it in front as well. So old version is not false or obsolete. We have videos of founder turning in Taino Henko using only one arm. But what I have noticed from my own experience is that if you place both arms in front instead of only one, your ki extends better. It's simply because it teaches you Taino Henko lesson better this way. I prefer the modern version more, but both are fine. I believe more than that. I'm confident that this is accurate representation of how O-sensei's basic Taino Henko actually looked like. So how is it even a possibility that so many direct students got the most basic, simple exercise not quite right? Well, first of all, flow inversion isn't like that. If done with speed, it's hard to notice the difference between the two. In Kinanagare, it doesn't matter how or where your opponent grabs. You just turn swiftly and he turns with you, holding you, catching his own balance. But it's different once you've been grabbed firmly, once he settled his power onto you. Then your movement has to be precise. So it's easy to misinterpret technique if shown quickly. And we know that founder never taught slowly, never taught in 1-3 manner, rarely explained things in detail. This was true even in his home dojo in Iwama. Everything was left for students to figure out. This was traditional way of teaching. But luckily, founder didn't hide his techniques. He allowed to be photographed. He allowed to be filmed. Well, though, Budo manual was never meant to be disclosed for the public. In fact, in the publication note at the end of the book, the indication "not for sale" appears in bold type. The modern forms are too watered down. Just practicing watered down kata won't give you the real thing. Entire lifetime or 2 wouldn't be enough. All you will be getting good at is doing it wrong. This is how things work. Only correct key unlocks the door. Only the right directions will lead you to the destination. So only shugyo is what really counts. That's content study, constant practice, learning from the source. This is why it's so important to learn as much as possible directly from the source, because things tends to get distorted once you move away from the source. Water is cleanest by the source. Just like one bad apple spoils the whole barrel, one misunderstood principle contaminates all techniques. Just like it is important to use tools for intended purpose, it is as important to practice techniques in the way it was intended to be practiced. It's not okay to innovate for the sake of innovation in Budo. There's no need to reinvent the wheel. True Aikido is about perfecting yourself on all levels, yes, but we do it through authentic Budo practice. This Budo had been crafted for centuries. There's a reason why founder's techniques hasn't changed much throughout his career. So Taino Henko is a wonderful exercise. Talking about breath power, it was not the first time that I felt ki moving inside my body, but it was through continuous practice of Taino Henko that I had felt for the first time how ki actually connects inside my body. So never underestimate the importance of this basic exercise. So this is where I will finish my first presentation of Budo techniques. I have another one already filmed, the Aikido technique. There's surprises too. Hopefully I'll be able to publish it soon. For now, thanks for watching. See you next time.